Hey everyone, Trackmaster Tehachapi here. Welcome to my little 4th of July special video, where I'll be making Union Pacific 1943 as a shell, and just showing you the general process to making one of these shells. So without further ado, let's get this OCS a locomotive to pull. So first of all, we're gonna have to go on Tinkercad. After an unusually long search of the file I need, I start up Orca FlashForge and start up the 3D printer. This is where I'll be slicing the shell. I usually like to print them on their roofs to save on plastic and save on time. But here, we'll just slice the plate, and this will get everything ready. And in the meantime, while we slice the whole plate, we're gonna go ahead and preheat our 3D printer. This will make it in idle mode, and we'll be able to send the file to it via Wi-Fi. And once the file is sent, the 3D printer is finally gonna start printing the shell that we've sliced and prepared. So now it's really just a waiting game. We wait for the 3D printer to complete the full print. And you know what, we'll just skip ahead to when it's finished. So we'll take it off and remove all of the supports. Although strangely most of them came off on the 3D printer that time. But here it is. Our SD70 Ace, soon to be 1943. As well as printing the handrails, we're ready to get painting. Alright, so for this segment of the video, I'm mostly just going to be giving live commentary over, all the painting. Everything I do is going to be on camera, and you'll see the full process to painting the shell. So, this one, we'll start off with a coat of light gray, including painting all the frames and handrails. And this is a bit of an unusual unit since it is mostly just gray. Usually when painting lighter colored units like Union Pacific Yellow and BNSF Orange, I like to put an undercoat of white wherever there's going to be light colors on the shell before putting on the orange and yellow and stuff. But this engine is mostly just gray, so we can just get away with no primer. But now that we have both the light gray and the battleship gray paint applied, we're gonna hopefully not get to the hide part next. You're gonna notice with my next actions, but I'm mostly gonna do lining and such because I'm stalling, because I'll be entirely real, I'm afraid of doing the camel paint. I have plenty of reference photos to do it, but still, it's camouflage. It's gonna be daunting to get it right. And of course, a small brush will be used. So, you're gonna notice me taking time, pausing, and just generally going slow to try to replicate the patterns. Like I said, camouflage is hard, and at this point I kinda just gave up and started doing lining with the paint pins. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna grab 2 larger paint pins that I use for other features of lining. The white pin I'll take and put the reflective paint around the frames, and also on the handrails to, finish them off. And at this point I'll take the red and go ahead and do the front stripe of 1943. If I'm not mistaken, these front colors are supposed to represent the US Coast Guard, and well, there's something along this sash. I can't remember it at the moment, but I'll probably edit its significance in as text overlaid or something. But yeah, for now, it's mostly just the game of getting the lining and using a toothpick to cover up any mistakes in painting I made. And now it's back to the camouflage. Doing a little mixture of brown and a little bit of tan and white to lighten the color up. And here's the blue in the back. And here's the white for the shield and wings. And now we have green. Now, if some of you more astute observers have noticed 1943's specs in real life, you might have noticed a little teeny tiny mistake I made here. But I'm not gonna point it out, because I'm sure that at least one person hasn't noticed it yet, and they're gonna experience it as I experienced it. Gives it that little extra touch of authenticity, I believe. At this stage, we can go ahead and push apart the handrails for the actual shell, because these are basically complete. We're not gonna need the PTC board or anything else. Now we're gonna take paint pins and a bunch of Sharpies to try to add some detail to this shell. The base colors are in, but now I'm going to use Sharpies to go over the windows, the vents, pretty much anywhere that I'd need to specify is a feature that isn't just a door. This is, pretty much a common standard on all of my models. And now I'm mostly just fixing up any paint and adding the big American flag and the red stripes to the, UP shields. Then I'll go over in blue to finish off the nose wings and everything else. Then I'll use the light blue Sharpie to put the blue on the flag, try to copy the spirit of the Union Pacific sash to the best of my ability, and put 1943 in, as well as the red stripes as I go along. And yeah, pretty much just add any little details I find, including whatever's on the back. I'm not too sure what it is. I don't know, maybe future me will edit it in, but at the moment I'm unsure as to what it means. But now we can go ahead and plug in our hot glue gun because we can glue the frames together. We'll go ahead and grab the chassis to align it, and we are ready to glue and assemble the shell together. Is what I wish I said, but as a matter of fact, I now notice my teensy-weensy little mistake. So one of my reference images apparently had 1943 as a high headlight SD70 Ace and the high nose logo, which I, like a fool, transferred to my unit. The real 1943 has low headlights and a low shield, so we're gonna go ahead and just scrap this reference and go ahead and fix our mistake. Or actually, not even our mistake, this is literally just my mistake. I'm sorry for roping you into this. But anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and speedrun everything else. And now we're ready to assemble the shell, finally. So after that embarrassing little delay, we're finally gonna get to assemble this shell. We're gonna go ahead and take the chassis and align the frames and shell to glue them into place. Make sure it can roll pretty well. And now I'm just dabbing and putting hot glue in some areas to hold all the frames in place. The rear frame is kind of broken in half, so we're just hoping that it'll hold. But anyways, now that's the full shell assembled. Here's a fun little 360 showcase. But now, there's only one thing left to do in terms of customization, and that's just give a quick look over to make sure there's no painting mistakes or seams. I'm just fixing up the chains on the front and rear handrails. But now that that's fixed, let's run it. And with that, that's the full process to making a Trackmaster shell. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm probably gonna make an update video to explain all the mysterious backdrops and changes that you're seeing right now. But yeah, that'll come in the future. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, stay safe, and have a heritage unit. Goodbye!
Locomotive with 6,600 horsepower. These were ushered in just in time for the 1969 celebration of the 100th year of the Union Pacific.